Hi everyone, I'm Catherine Martin, founder of QuietTime Ministries. And every day I have the privilege of meeting alone with the one who actually created me, who made the world. His name is Jesus, and He is King of Kings and Lord of Lords. And this is my quiet time. There are times in our lives when we receive such news and the immensity of it just overtakes us, and we momentarily, or maybe even longer, give in to panic. We are distressed. We want to just, in a way, run away. I've had those times, even recently, and the Lord took me to a passage of Scripture where He gave me such a lesson that I wanted to pass it on to you. David, our great hero of hope in the Old Testament, writes a psalm during a time of great stress in his own life. And he did not yet have his answer. And how many times do we not yet have our answer? How many times are we still in the heat of a trial and we are feeling shaken by it? That was David. And so David does what he was an expert at and what we need to learn for our own journey, our own pilgrimage of the heart. He expressed what he knew to be true about God, who He is, what He does, and what He says. Then David made resolves, affirmations, and commitments as a result of those truths. That's what you have in Psalm 62. I want to read Psalm 62, verses 5 to 8. They were my favorites for my own adversity. Listen to these verses. Psalm 62, 5 to 8. My soul, wait in silence for God only, for my hope is from Him. He only is my rock and my salvation, my stronghold. I shall not be shaken. On God, my salvation and my glory rest. The rock of my strength, my refuge is in God. Trust in Him at all times, O people. Pour out your heart before Him. God is a refuge for us. Here's how God encouraged me, and I pray that it's going to encourage you as well. First, David speaks to his soul. I love that. It's really our soul that needs to be calmed down with the truth first, isn't it? Because everything else, our heart, our mind, our physical well-being, flows from what is going on in our own soul. He says to his soul, my soul. So first, we've got to learn to say, my soul. Now hear this. You are feeling like you are shaking, but here's what you need to do and what you need to know. So we've got to get personal with our souls and speak the truth. Then here's what he says to his soul. My soul, wait in silence for God only. I love that word, only. This is a word for all panic-stricken souls. You may be looking in 1,000 directions at once for help and hope. The word only limits our focus to one, God Himself. We wait in silence for God only. And David goes on to say why. For my hope is from Him. Okay, let's just remember this. Our hope is from God. Will you say it together with me? My hope is from God. It's not in a better job, a better relationship, more money, or any person or thing. It's from God. So I ask you, are you thinking if-onlys and what-ifs and finding your hope in anything but God? If you are, then immediately change your focus to God and say it out loud with me. My hope is from God. Then David goes on to say what it is about God that makes Him such an amazing hope. He only is my rock, my salvation, my stronghold. You need God, your rock, salvation, and stronghold more than any other thing. And then David made the great commitment and affirmation and resolve that we all must make. I shall not be shaken. Say it together with me. My hope is from God. I shall not be shaken. Whatever you're facing today, you need to speak to your soul and you need to say these things. You will find your focus single-minded upon God, your hope greatly increased, and peace will begin to flood your heart and soul. David goes on to elaborate on the great truth about God. His salvation and glory rest on God. And David applies the truth personally to himself. He says, God is the rock of my strength. My refuge is in God. Personalize this for yourself. God, you are the rock of my refuge, the rock of my strength. My refuge is in you. And he concludes with the strong exhortation for the people, as every good king would do. Trust in him at all times. Pour out your heart before him. God is a refuge for us. David gave us an example of exactly how to do that. Speaking to your soul, telling it the truth, making resolves to God is how you trust in him. And David says we should trust at all times, not just sometimes, but all times. Trust, total reliance under stress and trial, and at all times, even this time, whatever you are facing. Pour out your heart before God. David shows us how to do this. God is personal. He loves you. There's no one else to pour your heart out to but God, and he wants you to do it. He is your refuge. When you are at the place where you say there is no one who is there for you, think again. God is your refuge. He's your strength. Even if there is no one, there is God. Oh Lord, thank you for showing me how to speak to my soul today, to recognize that sometimes I am too easily shaken. Today I resolve to say that my hope is from you. I shall not be shaken. And that's my quiet time for this week. God bless you as you continue on in the great adventure of knowing him.